Welcome to Friday's Market Wrap-Up. My name is Matthew Buckley. I'm the Chief Investment Strategist here at WCI, or Wealth Creation Investing, and what an interesting week it's been, folks. We kind of kicked it off Sunday night with the futures imploding, Asia imploding on the news out of Cyprus, right? Unless you've been in a cave all week, you know what's going on in Cyprus, with Cyprus essentially on the verge of exiting the euro. And as you can see, just kind of a chart of what happened this week. Gap down on Monday. Why? At the open, obviously everybody couldn't believe that a government could just wake up one morning and seize a percentage of people's bank accounts. Guess what, folks? It's already happening here in the United States, just in different forms. So why is that shocking? So the market, more or less recovered and shrugged it off. Why? Because, central bankers such as Mario Draghi of the ECB, the IMF, Christine Lagarde, Bernanke over here, more or less has said, hey, we're going to backstop anything. You have a run on the banks. I'm going to pull up my Peugeot or my Fiat, crack the hatchback open, and print more euros to capitalize the banks. However, that kind of faded as the week went on. The ECB said, we'll provide funding within certain constraints, right? And then the market rallied on that. Then we had the Bernanke speak, the Fed chairman here in the United States speak, and the market tried to figure out whether what he said was good news or bad news. And more or less it was a non-event. The Fed chief said a lot and nothing. So we're going to continue propping up this market and pumping liquidity in the market and printing money out of thin air. And Thursday was kind of I think it was more or less a hangover day. The Cyprus fears are getting a little more scrutiny, and also a hangover from the Fed of everybody getting really excited going into the Fed, and then kind of a sell-off. And today we're having a little bit of a rally, and the Dow might actually end up positive for a week. But look at the round trip that this market made, right? And then let's take a look at the round trip that this thing made in the past 5 days. Look at the VIX. Huge moves, 20% move in a day and a half, sell-off, and really seeing a return of volatility here. Obviously, it's off a little bit today. But we saw a lot of big risk on and risk off days, a lot of jerky and lurching trading movement throughout the week, and I think that's going to characterize the short term. Now, the folks in Washington failed. Epic fail again. Boehner failed again, and the Senate they essentially kicked the next fiscal implosion to September 30th. So they passed a resolution to fund the government through September 30th. So again, no real leadership out of anybody. Let's just slide this problem to the right a little bit on the calendar. So that's going to flare up again. But during this week, absolutely, crazy week with good news, bad news. And by the way, just a preview going forward, the ECB's given Cyprus until Monday, given their government until Monday to unfornicate everything that's going on in their country, or they're going to leave the euro. So this is a high stakes poker match here. Now, Cyprus, if they left the euro, it would be about a 0.06% impact to the 17-member nation, annual output. It's not even a pebble in a pond. So that's not the point. The point is it kind of opens the door for, hey, if people can come and go from this euro, why do we even exist? So it does really kind of, even though it's a small island nation and not ginormous, it really could be that bottom card in a big house of cards. So next week is going to be an extremely interesting week to trade, and I strongly recommend you don't trade it solo. But look at this week. Up, down, sideways, up, down, and look at how one of our portfolios over at Top Gun Options did. Had 3 trades on, 2 trades on gold that were trades around what the Fed was going to do, and then a Apple bull put spread that I put on yesterday afternoon. So this trade is up 89% in essentially 4 or 5 hours, and it's going to collect a max gain here of about $1,000. But look at this performance for the week in the weekly options model portfolio. 3 trades, nearly $3,300 in profit. And by the time these expire today, these should expire for a full profit of $3,500 on about $15,000 of risk. 3 trades, a max of $15,000 of risk. If all 3 trades went to hell in a handbasket, which would have been physically impossible. Why? because the one GLD trade was a bear call spread and one was a bull put spread. So the most we could have lost this week in the weekly options model portfolio was $10,000, and we made nearly $3,500. That's a 35% return in a week. Folks, and look at how we've been doing since, February is kind of a crazy month. February through today, over nearly $18,000 in weekly options profits. We've been averaging $2,000 a week in profits in this model portfolio. It's been an absolute blast. If you're not in this, I strongly recommend you give it a test flight. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make him drink, folks. The people that have joined the weekly option service, it's literally changed lives, and I feel I couldn't be happier. It's putting a huge smile on my face that people are actually having fun and seeing profits for the first time in their lives, essentially, especially with options trading. So you can go to topgunoptions.com/weekly-options, and I'm actually going to have a free live trading session today for weekly options at 1 p.m. So if you want to join us, you can join us. Check your email for registration information. But here's the link to get airborne on your test flight. Go to topgunoptions.com/weekly-options, and you can click test flight and give us a shot for 2 weeks. Check it out. See, see if you have what it takes to be a weekly options trader here at Top Gun Options. So a lot of great stuff going on in that portfolio. Nothing really big on the flight schedule today. Obviously, nothing at all on the economic flight schedule today here in the United States. But, this Cyprus thing is getting a little bigger. Like I covered, the market sold off initially. They freaked out. Then realized that central bankers were going to bail everybody out, that there is no hell. And then as we kind of went on later in the week, even though we know there's no hell, that there is a purgatory. And if this happens to Cyprus, it can spread throughout Europe. And guess what? We're a descendant here in the United States of our cousins across the pond. So guess what? That can happen here because we're obviously our own financial absolute train wreck. And this president has put us an additional $6 trillion in debt. The House passed a budget yesterday that balances the budget within 10 years with no tax increases. Why? Huge reductions in entitlement spending. Love it, love it, love it. The Senate, led by the Democrats, passed a budget that actually doesn't balance the budget at all and actually calls for tax increases. Picture this in Miami, Chicago, and LA in a couple years because that's exactly what's going to be happening, except you'll be able to read the signs there. All right, I got to get going. I got to get ready for our live trading session, our live weekly options trading session at 1 p.m. today. That's free to attend. This one's on me, and I'm going to show you how we're doing this just incredible performance in our weekly options model portfolio and why you need to be in there. Okay, happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and I hope to see you at 1 p.m. today.